If you are lucky enough to have lived in Paris as a young man, then wherever you go for the rest of your life it stays with you, for Paris is a movable feast. The man who has begun to live more seriously within begins to live more simply without. I love sleep. My life has the tendency to fall apart when I'm awake, you know? Every man's life ends the same way. It is only the details of how he lived and how he died that distinguish one man from another. All my life I've looked at words as though I were seeing them for the first time. If a writer knows enough about what he is writing about, he may omit things that he knows. The dignity of movement of an iceberg is due to only 1/9 of it being above water. I'm not going to get into the ring with Tolstoy. All modern American literature comes from one book by Mark Twain called Huckleberry Finn. It's none of their business that you have to learn how to write. Let them think you were born that way. All our words from loose using have lost their edge. You can write any time people will leave you alone and not interrupt you. Or, rather, you can if you will be ruthless enough about it. But the best writing is certainly when you are in love. My aim is to put down on paper what I see and what I feel in the best and simplest way. Things may not be immediately discernible in what a man writes, and in this sometimes he is fortunate, but eventually they are quite clear. And by these and the degree of alchemy that he possesses, he will endure or be forgotten. There is no rule on how to write. Sometimes it comes easily and perfectly, sometimes it's like drilling rock and then blasting it out with charges. A man's got to take a lot of punishment to write a really funny book. Never confuse movement with action. There is nothing to writing. All you do is sit down at a typewriter and bleed. On the Star, you were forced to learn to write a simple declarative sentence. This is useful to anyone. Newspaper work will not harm a young writer and could help him if he gets out of it in time. A serious writer is not to be confounded with a solemn writer. A serious writer may be a hawk or a buzzard or even a popinjay, but a solemn writer is always a bloody owl. Pound's crazy. All poets are. They have to be. You don't put a poet like Pound in the loony bin. Once writing has become your major vice and greatest pleasure, only death can stop it. I rewrote the ending to Farewell to Arms, the last page of it, 39 times before I was satisfied. I don't like to write like God. It is only because you never do it, though, that the critics think you can't do it. I learned never to empty the well of my writing, but always to stop when there was still something there in the deep part of the well, and let it refill at night from the springs that fed it. For a long time now I have tried simply to write the best I can. Sometimes I have good luck and write better than I can. Forget your personal tragedy. We are all bitched from the start, and you especially have to be hurt like hell before you can write seriously. But when you get the damned hurt, use it, don't cheat with it.